Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Design. This is Jen Gross, and today I am featuring the Fearless stamp set along with the new release, which is the dotted flower stencil. This stencil I'm going to show you in a variegated effect. So first of all, I'm going to take a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of paper and adhere it down to another piece of paper. And at the bottom here, you'll see I've measured a 1/2 inch in where the blue mark is, and then 3 5/16 inch out. So each of these are the layers that I will use. I'm putting purple tape down to hold my stencil down in place, as well as hold the piece of card front in place. And I'm starting with the tattered rose oxide, and I'm stenciling this out. Again, I've lined that up with the first line. Then I'm lining up the second line. I've cleaned off the stencil, and I'm using Victorian velvet for this part of the stencil. So this is going to move the stencil outward with different colors. Go ahead and clean off that part of the stencil again, dry it off, and then take it to the third line, the 5/16 line, and adhere it down and bring out the picked raspberry. And now I'm going to stencil that onto the card front. So this is creating our card front design. And as I do that, I'm going to go ahead and I'll clean that off, and I will bring it into that fourth line and the final stencil area after I dry it. And this is going to be in abandoned coral. So this will create the card front. I'm going to then remove the card front and get it out of the way. And I want to show you what I'm going to do here. So this is a little trick. This stencil is loaded with great ink, so I'm wiping it off on a piece of paper with baby wipe, and this piece of paper I am saving for another project. So I'm going to dry off the stencil, set it aside, go ahead and remove that purple tape, and then I'm taking my quarter rounder and quarter rounding the edges here. I'm bringing out my card base as well as my sentiment from Fearless. So I've got your back is what I'm using. I'm already cut it out. I'm going to glue it to the front about 1.5 inches up from the base, or the bottom, and then I'm going to cut off that little bit of overhang. Then I'm going to go ahead and round the corners for the card base and go ahead and use foam squares to adhere the ribbon to the front of the card front. Once I have that on, I'm going to use my double-sided adhesive, and I'm going to adhere that to the card base, completing my card. I hope you've enjoyed this. So I have had fun creating with these. Please stop by the Rabbit Hole Designs. The Fearless stamp set is limited edition, and the dotted flower one is currently available